season comes to a close, and tonight district titles and playoff brackets will be decided. Welcome into week 11 of Friday Night Lights. I'm Curtis Quillen, flying solo, not by plan, but because Mother Nature had better plans tonight for our staff. Nicole Sheeran and Matt Lively will join us in just a little bit, as our game of the week this week features two teams rewriting history at their schools. For the first time since 2009, the Belton Tigers have won a share of the district championship in their first year down in Class 5A. Remember, they were the biggest school in Central Texas for a long time. The only other story in the area this season that's bigger, though, is University rebounding from an 0-10 campaign a year ago to clinch its first playoff berth since 2009 and can take a share of the district title for itself with a win tonight. The Trojans were so close to the playoffs in 2018 and 2019. Now they know they'll be there on Friday. Can they host one at Waco ISD Stadium? Kent Laster worked tirelessly the past 2 years for a night like tonight. Belton and University, nearly 2-hour weather delay, and in the first, Ty Brown, all the time in the world, finds Slade LeBlanc. Yeah, that's a touchdown. It's a walk-in score, 7-0. Tigers just like that. Offense continuing to pound next drive at the 12-yard line. It's a fumble. Dontrell DeGreat there to scoop it up, and he is running for the heavens. He goes 88 yards, scoop and score. It is 7-7, and the Trojans tie it up just like that after a punt. Trojans get it back. They give it to their star running back, Miskai Sandoff, and he takes it to the right sideline, cuts it all the way back to the middle, 67 yards to the house to deafen Waco ISD Stadium. The Trojans lead 14-7 at that point. It is halftime at Waco ISD Stadium, and that is your score. So Matt Lively, is he still under? Yeah, he's still there under the ruin at Waco ISD Stadium.
Yeah, I am still here, Curtis. I'm going to be here all night. We just kicked off in the second half, maybe 20 seconds ago. Kickoff win. It is 14-7. University still leads in this game. And it feels pretty weird, Curtis, not having the trophy with me, handing it back to a team right now. But that's what happened when Mother Nature rolls through, delays this game almost 2 hours, but we are finally playing. And I'll tell you this, the University offense started off slow in this one, but that scoop and score that we just showed got them back on track. And then Miskai Sandoff, who's one of the most talented running backs in the entire district and in all of Central Texas. You saw there 67 yards to the house, and University has a 14-7 lead. If it wasn't for an illegal man down field, Miskai Sandoff would have had another 50-plus touchdown reception that would have given them a 21-7 lead. So University is certainly charging and leading this game. There was a tough moment for them. Jay-Sean Mangan, the quarterback, did limp off the field in the first half. Let's see. We've actually got another injury going on right now. I do want to give you an injury update, though, on Jay-Sean Mangan when we get it, when University's offense takes the field, because that's a huge component to this offense. And without him, it's going to be tough to keep this thing moving. So as soon as I get an injury update on him, I certainly want to update us. But right now, it is 14-7. Turnovers are a big factor in this game. And, of course, we've got two electric offenses. So it should be high scoring here in the second half. The turf has certainly dried up quite a bit. Let me see. There's a Belton player going off, limping off and being helped off right now. And Belton does have the ball to begin this second half. So we're going to have highlights, updates throughout FNL. This is a little bit different, but it's going to be fun. Curtis, I'll send it back to you.
It is a little bit different. I think the earliest kick tonight was like 8:35 out in McGregor. So we're going to roll with the punches and do the best we can for you here on Friday Night Lights. Elsewhere in Class 5A, as good as Lake Belton has been this season, the Broncos are having to play for their playoff lives this week. A win, they tie for second with Shoemaker and Red Oak, but a loss to Ellison. And it's the Eagles soaring into the playoffs next week to face Aledo. That would make this one a playoff game at Tiger Field in Belton. Broncos hosting the Ellison Eagles tonight. Kickoff pushed back to 9 o'clock because of the storms, but there would be no wasting time for either of these teams. In the first, Ellison quarterback Sidney Holland drops back, no one open, boom. That's a coverage sack. Ball comes loose. Eagles jump on it, but they would have to punt. And on the ensuing drive, the senior Connor Cruz looking for his favorite target. Micah Hudson on 4th down, sliding into the end zone. No pictures, please. Lake Belton jumps ahead 7-0 after the PAT. Short memory for the Eagles, though. Holland play fake, loads up, launches one to Kamani DeBro, and he's going to take it 65 yards on the house call, untouched. Eagles tied at 7. Next drive for the Broncos. Can they do it? Cruz scrambling around. I've said this line a lot, like Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. Heaves one downfield, and Hudson comes down with the big catch. You, sir, just got mossed. 14-7, Lake Belton at the half. The Broncos pulling away here. It's 21-7 at the moment. We are just getting things started here on Friday Night Lights. Up next, a big week in Class 2A. Stay with us.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3.
With last night's 41-13 Rosebud Lot win over Moody, the Cougars made tonight's Bosqueville-Riesel game a playoff play-in game. The last time Bosqueville missed the playoffs was 2007. None of this year's players were in school yet when that happened, and to be totally honest with you, I was in 7th grade. Meanwhile, Riesel would like to make it a 2-year streak, making it in 3A Division II last year. Somebody's streak must end, though. After an hour-long lightning delay, the Indians come out hot from the first snap. Quarterback Peyton Holscher taking the snap, handing it to Gavin Oliver, finds a hole, foot race to the end zone. Put your arms up. That's a touchdown. Indians keep on pushing. The ball fumbled here by receiver Keller Silver, and it's recovered by a previous player of the week. It's Mason Heath on the recovery. Indians in business. They take advantage. It's Heath again. Takes the snap, finds a hole, says, "Get off me, bro." And as he's running and running and running, and he's eventually taken down by Demarius Stewart just short of the goal line, no problem. Riesel able to finish the job. Bryson May punches it over the goal line. A huge Riesel 6. It is 14-0 in the first quarter. Time to go pick some more berries. Newt Shornack under center. Hands it to Easton Hill. Fumble! Snapped right up. Bryson May running it the other way. Put that on the board as a hashtag scoop and score. With 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, it's 21-0. Riesel at the moment, 49-7. Looking like Riesel is going to beat its most notable alum. And Nicole Sheeran is live at Fair Park Field. Nicole, didn't expect this one to be quite the blowout it's become, but man, what an effort from Riesel. So dominant in this one.
What an effort from Riesel, and you're right, Kurt. I did not expect it to be so dominant right from the get-go, but I talked about it earlier tonight. Win and they're in, and not to jinx them, but it's 49-7 right now. It's looking like the Indians are in tonight. Coach Crow said it earlier. He said this is just like any other game, and that's what we saw from Riesel tonight. Former Player of the Week, Mason Heath, making absolute noise out here. Interceptions, touchdowns, tackles. He's doing all of it. You know how we talk about jackers and robbers with Baylor? Well, it's looking like Riesel took that to heart and is also doing some jackers and robbers movement out here. I mean, they have created absolute noise. Bosqueville tried to get back on top, but they've got picking berries left and right. And Coach Crow said earlier, he said last year they made a deep playoff run. They lost in the third round of playoffs. And they lost a lot of those players on that squad. But this season, he said, we need leadership on this team. And I think Coach Crow is seeing a lot of that leadership tonight, Kurt.
A trend into the Tyler Crow era at Riesel. 2 years, 2 Week 11 playoff play-in games, and so far 2 dominant efforts to note. Who knows? Riesel could be dangerous to a Division I Region II. Nicole, we'll check in with you here in a bit. So much more Friday Night Lights ahead, though. As we go to break, let's listen to the winner of this week's Battle of the Bands, the Bosqueville Bulldog Band. Friday Night Lights continues after this. Talking about last night's games, Harker Heights has been one heck of a story this year. The Knights may have their best team in school history with the district title already wrapped up. Could the Knights finish the unblemished run through District 12 6A? Knights hosting Bryan last night, Club Buck, to close the regular season. They could finish at 9-1 with a dub. First drive for the Vikes. Malcolm Gooden, he's been dynamite all year, throwing to his right, and it's picked off. King White with the grab, and the Knights knocking on the door. 2 plays later, Houston commit Rashawn Sanford bounces to his left, takes off, finds pay dirt. Nobody's going to touch him. 7-0 Heights, just like that. Bryan would answer, though, on 4th down. Gooden looking, rolling to his right. Looks like Eli in the Super Bowl. Can he find David Tyree? He does. Tyson Turner wide open in the back of the end zone. We're tied at 7. All Heights from there. 49-14 is your final. Temple closing the regular season last night as well against Coppers Cove at home. A chance for the Wildcats to end the regular season on a strong note, something that's been an issue in years past for Temple. First drive stalls at the 1. Next possession following a Cove punt. Mikhail Harrison, pilot under center, calls his own number. And when it's good for 6, there's a reason he does that. The number on his jersey, yeah, that's the lead. 7-0 from there. Temple on an offensive explosion. Next possession, Reese Rumfield under center. First by land, now by air. Straight into your living room, into the waiting arms of Christian Tutson. 2 Wildcat scores very quick. You see where this one's going. 69-7 is your final. Still so much more ahead on Friday Night Lights. Up next, we will head back to our game of the week.
Is escorted by her parents, Arthur and Amanda Fizell. Brianna has been a member of the Stampede for 3 years as a member of the Color Guard and has Arbalay. Chessa has been a member of the Stampede Color Guard for 3 years and previously served as a Color Guard captain. Chessa plans on attending the University of Texas to major in psychology and get her PhD.
You talking to me? Can you guys hear me?
Briggs is escorted by her parents, John and Tracy Briggs.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I definitely gotta turn it down.
And has been a saxophone and low reed section leader all 3 years.
Check 1, 2, 3,
Katie
4,
plans
5,
to
6,
go
7.
to go to college and figure out her life from there. Chris Cardenas
Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2.
is
Does that sound
escorted
good?
by his parents, Renee and Martha Cardenas. Chris has played baritone for the Stampede for 3 years and has also served as a librarian for the band.
Is that better?
Chris plans to attend the University of North Texas and study biology. Cameron Crow is escorted by his parents, Justin and Angela Crow.
Yeah, I can hear you. Do I sound good or am I too loud?
Welcome back to our game of the week. Belton just took the lead on another scoop and score. There's been one for each team in this one. It's 21-14 in the third. The Trojans were driving in Tigers territory. Fumble, scoop and score, now 21-14 Belton. But we are going to go to our live stream portion of the show. If you've got the World Wide Web, YouTube, Facebook app, we will see you there.
Crossing the finish line of the regular season tonight, we'll see seasons end for some of our area teams, and they'll be inflating basketballs on Monday, while others go on to the bracket for a run at a state title. Welcome into the live stream portion of our show. I'm Curtis Quillen, your traffic cop. Nicole Sheeran, Matt Lively in the field, not by plan, both of them, but mostly because Mother Nature had other plans for us tonight. We'll hear from both of them in a minute. A pair of teams that have had historic runs this fall face off for a district championship as part of two of the best stories in Central Texas this season as we talk our game of the week. For the first time since 2009, the Belton Tigers have won at least a share of the district championship in their first year in Class 5A. They were the biggest team in Central Texas, the biggest school for years in the past. The only other story in the area this season that's bigger is University, rebounding from an 0-10 campaign a year ago to clinch its first playoff berth since 2009 and can take a share of the district title for itself with a win tonight. Trojans so close to the playoffs in 2018 and 2019, and now they know they'll be there on Friday, but can they host at Waco ISD Stadium? Kent Lashers worked incredibly tirelessly for 21 games to get to this point. First drive. Lake Belton, after waiting 2 hours for kickoff, it's Ty Brown, all the time in the world, finding Slade LeBlanc. 7-0 Tigers quickly, and their offense continuing to pound. In the next drive, it's at the 12-yard line, and fumble! Tigers can't contain the handoff. Dontrell did great there to scoop it up. He's running for the heavens. He goes 88 yards with his team trailing behind him. Trojans tie it up at 7 apiece, and momentum starting to shift in Waco. After a punt, Trojans get it back, give it to their star running back, Makai Sandoff, breaks to the right side, gets to the sideline, and then watch this. Whoop! Switches it back, cuts it all the way back, finds daylight, 67 yards to the house. To deafen Waco ISD Stadium, Trojans lead 14-7 at that point, but Belton has come roaring back. It is 21-14, Belton in the third. Matt Lively, you had a front row seat to this one. I'd argue you still do, and momentum has shifted again.
Yeah, last time we had checked in 14-7, you said it right there. Now 21-14, let me bring you into this game. Third quarter, just over 2 minutes to play. There was a shanked punt from University. That set up the Tigers in great field position. LJ Underwood rushing touchdown. That tied it up at 14. And then another scoop and score. We've seen two in this game, one from each side. This one going 55 yards for the Tigers. That gave them a 21-14 lead. And the Trojans just punted the ball away. This Belton defensive line has been dominant all night long. Jayshon Mangan had to leave this game after getting banged up. He did come back into the game, still is in the game. He actually got absolutely pounded, which is why he fumbled and is how the Tigers scooped and scored to take that 21-14 lead. As I said, just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I don't expect this game to be over by the time that our live stream ends, unfortunately. But gosh, they are duking it out here at Waco ISD Stadium. They want the district title. Belton University, I think we picked a good one, Kurt, because this game is living up to expectations. We're going to check in later. Of course, we've still got plenty more to go.
Two teams playing like they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. We'll check in with Matt here in just a little bit. Earlier tonight, we showed you Lake Belton taking a good lead on Ellison as it tries to clinch a playoff spot tonight at Tiger Field. Darren Wallace live from Tiger Field. Darren, run us through this one because we weren't expecting this to be a play-in game at the beginning of the year, but alas, here we are in Lake Belton seizing the moment.
Yeah, Curtis, sounded like you mentioned, it's a playoff game before the playoffs actually start. Winning, you're in. These two teams didn't waste any time getting familiar with each other, even after a 2-hour kickoff delay, thanks to Mother Nature that we've been harping on pretty much all day on KCEN. At halftime right now, it's actually about to start. Lake Belton had to honor their seniors tonight at halftime, so it was a little bit longer halftime festivities. They're up. The Broncos are up 21-7, thanks to Connor Cruz's 3 touchdown passes, 1 to Micah Hudson, 1 to Javion Wilcox, an 81-yard explosive touchdown play, and then another 15-yard touchdown pass to Ty Legg. He was sliding in, diving to make the catch there. So Ellison, their points on the board came from a Kamani Dembro 65-yard bomb. So although it's 21-7, they trail by 2 scores. They obviously have big play capability, so you can't count them out yet. The Broncos are actually coming out right now. The second half is about to start. Probably won't finish soon, but we will provide you a final score at some point. Back to you, Curtis.
You know, the weather clearing up and the rain leaving Central Texas might be the key to this one, because I think if this game is played on the ground, that very much favors Ellison because of its defensive line. Darren Wallace proving that through the air, it's the Micah Hudson and Connor Cruz show. Let's go to Riesel again real quick and check in with Nicole Sheeran on this playoff play-in game in District 8, 2A Division 1. It was a dominant 49-7 score from Riesel. Nicole, can you give us an update and what it looks like Riesel might be able to do in the playoffs if this result holds?
Well, Kurt, while you guys were talking, Bosqueville actually just put a touchdown on the board. It's now 49-14. Riesel still has a huge lead in this game, and like we said earlier, they came out hot from the very beginning. And the guy by the name of Mason Heath, we all know the name. He was one of our Player of the Weeks. He's had 2 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. I've heard his name called over the intercom about 500 times. He's absolutely killing it in this game. And we've said it. It's if you win, you're in, and I'm not going to jinx it, but it's looking like these Riesel Indians are definitely going to be in the playoffs for the second year under Coach Tyler Crow. Now, last year, they lost in the 3rd round of the playoffs. This year, Coach Crow said what's key is the leadership that they're building this season. They've lost a lot of key seniors from last year. And what I've seen out there on that field is this team is working together to make magic out there on offense, on defense, picking berries, you know, running it into the end zone, throwing the ball. It's just the leadership out here is great to see. And I think, if I'm not jinxing it, this game is not over. It is still the 3rd quarter, 49-14. But these Riesel Indians are going to make some noise in the playoffs if they get there. And we'll keep you guys updated with the score.
Nicole very strategic in her live shot spot because she's right in front of the scoreboard and can just look over her camera and see it. Look, this is a Riesel team that made the 3rd round in 3A Division 2, losing to eventual champion Franklin last year. This is a team that could make some noise in 2A Division 1 Region 2. Nicole Sheeran will check in with you here in Big Picture. Last week, Kevin Hoffman at Mart got his 100th win as a head coach when the Panthers clinched the district title once again. Hoffman's Panthers can put a bow on a 10-0 regular season with a win last night over Hubbard. As we run through some of the Thursday games this week, Martin, the majority of our teams to move its game up because of the forecasted storms. First quarter, it's Jonah Ross finding Jordan Vincent, and he flies down the sideline into the end zone. It's very quickly 7-0 Mart at that point. A few drives later, same score. Hubbard's MJ Ryman can't contain the handoff. Ball's loose, and it's smothered by purple jerseys. That means it's Panther football, and off that turnover, who are they going to go to? It's Jadarian Bell. Takes the handoff, bounces to the right side. He's not going to get a hand on him. That's a touchdown. And what an impressive run like that all night long. It's all Mart. 70-0 is the final. Clifton looking for its first playoff berth in 3A Division 2 in 3 years at Florence last night, facing the Buffalo 7-0 Cubs in the 2nd quarter. The pitch here is to Parker Tunnel. Gets to the right side, gets to the outside, and breaks one tackle, and then smothered by a stampede of Buffaloes. But no worries, 2 plays later, Cubs going through the air this time. It's a screen pass looking like Texas Tech on a Saturday. Carter Tunnel, his brother, he does the rest. Touchdown is there for the Cubs. PAT no good. Cubs go into the half leading 13-0. Things would get hairy in the second half, though. This game goes to overtime. Clifton survives, clinches a playoff spot, 32-26. Franklin looking to finish off a 10-0 regular season tonight, finishing the Hive to face Academy. Opening drive for the Lions around 9 o'clock tonight because, you know, weather. You see the first down, and then Casey Mraz off the handoff to Devin Hidrago tries to get to the outside. He gets the tackle. Lions on 4th and goal. 22-yard field goal attempt. No good. Wide right and short. Neither team would score on its opening drive. Let's go to the score. It is 8-3, and Academy has the lead on Franklin. Oh, could Academy do what no one else in District 11 3A Division 1's been able to do? We'll find out later tonight. Cameron Yo hosting Troy last night, looking to end the regular season on a strong note. This is another one of those games moved up to Thursday night, 1st quarter, and it's Braylon Drake in the gun for the Yeoman. Hands it to Trajan Wilcox, and then whoop, reverse, running room, and huge gain. Same drive for the Yeoman as they get down to the 4-yard line, 1st down and goal. So what are they going to do with it here? You see it, the handoff, more Drake, Wilcox, that's a touchdown. 7-0. Later on in the quarter is where we're going to see Drake finding Trajan Wilcox. This is in the 2nd quarter now, and that's a touchdown. Corner out, yeah, 14-0, game over, right? Nope, Troy has something to say about it. It's going to be Ethan Sorensen on the under center, play action, finding Cooper Valley in the flat, and he does the rest. It's 14-7 Trojans just like that as he finds it over the middle. 35-14, Yeoman get the win. McGregor hosting Rockdale, looking to end the season with its first district win. The Bulldogs have had quite the struggle this year, but they're quite young. 4th down, McGregor attempting the fake punt. JL Singer, no. Datron Owens is the intended receiver, but it's incomplete. Ball turned over on downs near midfield, and Rockdale's Braden Barchak throws it to Garen Marrero, makes a great catch. A few plays later, Rockdale starts with the reverse. Ball is pitched. Barchak throws it way downfield, tipped near the goal line. Marrero makes another spectacular catch for the touchdown. It is 8-0 early, just like that. Let's go to the score. Looks like Rockdale in the lead, 40-32 in the 4th. This one is a close one. Don Hyde from La Vega talking 4A Division I, fired up as Stephenville is in town last night with major seeding implications, tied at 7 in the 1st. Ball is snapped, no one looking. Luckily for them, they jump back on it, and then it's a disaster for the Yellow Jackets. You see the INT there, and then nothing doing for the Pirates, and then Stephenville scoring here on a nice long pass. Yeah, Stephenville can do that. Can they end the 2-game skid? And then right before the half, the jump pass, touchdown. That makes it 21-7 at the half. Let's go to the score, 42-28 Stephenville last night. Moving forward, it's time now for one of our favorite segments where we highlight one outstanding performance from the previous week. We go back to Matt with our Gridiron Player of the Week live at Waco ISD Stadium, and it's a guy that we've seen in this Game of the Week tonight.
Yeah, Curtis, we know that regardless of what happens tonight, this university program is not the same one that we've become accustomed to watching as they tie this thing up at 21 right now. A big reason for their success is the guy playing under center.
It's crazy fun. Like, the atmosphere here is just insane.
Jay-Sean Mangan is enjoying his time as a university Trojan. The junior moved here this past summer, traveling all around as a military kid. Landing in South Waco with a boatload of talented teammates has been a blessing.
Makai, he's our amazing running back. He scored a bunch of times. Najee, one of my best receivers, he scored, I don't even remember how many. It's just amazing to see the whole team coming together, working for a district championship and to go far into the playoffs.
It was Mangan who led the bunch in their 78-7 Week 10 dub versus Pflugerville Connolly, putting up 4 passing scores and a rushing touchdown.
He's all about his teammates. He's all about being coachable, and that kind of selflessness has carried over to all of his teammates, and they all feed off of him. And it's just been amazing to have him as a young man that we're able to coach.
The buy-in has been real for the Trojans, who will make their first trip to the postseason since 2009.
You can even go to any practice, any game, you go anywhere and you can see that everything has raised up. We get full effort in practice, full effort in the games. We just do the little things right.
That effort has led to a memorable year, one that's not over, and one that Mangan won't forget.
Let's say you're not playing well, they'll pick you up all the time. I love this team.
He loves this team, and he loves what he just did. A 54-yard dime to London Smith. He's a freshman who's already been contacted by Baylor. And then Makai Sandoff finished it off with a 7-yard run. And, oh boy, Belton just scored. So 21-21 to 27-21. There's 9:12 left to play in the fourth quarter in this game. This is back and forth. I said there was going to be a lot of points in the second half. It's proven to be that so far. So Jay-Sean Mangan, definitely a big part of the success. We'll see if he can finish this thing off tonight. But right now, Belton does have a 6-point lead with a PAT pending.
All right, let's do a quick sprint through area scores before we get to big picture with both Matt and Nicole tonight. 5A, it's Shoemaker all over Granbury last night, 60-22, getting the win, clinching a playoff spot. Colleen all over Waco High to end the season, 32-6. Moving forward, Canyon Lake comes from behind, beats Lampasas for the District 13 4A Division I championship, 34-30. Connolly all over Robinson last night, 58-0. Moving down to continuing through 4A, it's Madisonville over Salado last night in Salado, 30-14. Let's talk 3A. Whitney and West combined to beat Dallas Gateway and Dallas Inspired Vision 98-0 to wrap up district play. They're both headed to the playoffs. Teague over Fairfield 27-12. Teague finishes in second place in the district. Malakoff over Grosbeck. So Grosbeck, because of the tiebreakers and the loss to Malakoff, 48-0, the Goats fall out of the playoff field because of those tiebreakers, so they will get fifth in that three-way tie for third. It's Rockdale over Malakoff right now, 40-32 in the fourth, as we showed you. Rogers all over Elkhart last night, 56-14. So even if Clifton had lost, they would have made the playoffs because of that Rogers result. Hamilton over Goldthwaite, 22-0 is your final. Toller all over San Saba last night, 63-0. First time San Saba's missed the playoffs since 2017. Axtell blanks Itasca, 55-0. They get second place in the district. They're headed to the postseason. Crawford blanks Bruceville Eddy last night, 51-0. Crawford wins the district outright. Moving forward, it's Marlin over Valley Mills, 41-14. Rosebud Lott over Moody, 41-13. Continuing on is Thorndale all over Hearn, 53-16. Thorndale would take sole possession of second place if Holland doesn't upset Flatonia. We'll get to that score here in just a bit. And then it's Chilton over Milano, 28-7 last night. Chilton 10-0 on the season. Look out for the Pirates. Granger 45, Bartlett 12 in an afternoon affair today. Fremont all over Iola last night, 54-6. Continuing on, it is Holland falling 49-17. The Hornets don't get the district title. It is the first time since 2016 that Holland has not won at least a share of the district championship, but they will still be postseason bound for the sixth straight year. Talking six-man, it's Abbott over Golson, 56-0. Jonesboro over Evant, 63-0. That's two top three teams in 1A Division I. Oglesby all over Buckholz last night, 66-6. And it's Weatherford Christian over Bishop Riker, 89-52. And CTCS falling in a close one tonight, 23-21 to Hallettsville Sacred Heart. Now, full transparency, normally we would have the six-man private school scores on here, but there are so many of them, and it was such a fluid week. I made the executive decision as sports director to not put those scores in here because I didn't know how many of those games would be able to be played, because keep in mind, a lot of them play on grass fields, and there was a chance those wouldn't be playable tonight. So that is full transparency, pulling the curtain back. Let's go to big picture. Let's bring Matt and Nicole back into the fold. We've talked to both of you about those games. Do we think any of these four teams, guys, can be a dark horse in these regions? We're talking about 5A Division II Region 3 with the game of the week that Matt is at. We're talking about 2A Division I Region 2 where Nicole is at. We'll start with you, Nicole. Of these four teams, which one do you think is the most poised to make a deep, deep run?
Now, all bias aside, just because, yes, I'm the one standing at this Riesel basketball game, but I am wowed by what Riesel has produced tonight. It's 56 to, well, basketball almost just scored, but it's 56-14 right now. This is a Riesel squad who lost to Bosqueville last season. I'm kind of blown away right now, to be honest with you, and I think this Indian team has a lot of potential to make a playoff run this year.
Matt, who you got out of the four?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's a great game that Nicole has going right now. Belton is the leader in the clubhouse right now in their district. They've got a 7-point lead, going for their first outright district title since 1999. So I'll go with the Tigers because of that. But certainly, I mean, University looks great, Riesel looks great, and they're in a very tough district. You got teams like Crawford and Marlin that they're competing with. So, I mean, so many talented teams right now in Central Texas. Sorry, Kurt, I'm distracted. I feel like Adam Schefter on NFL trade deadline day. But I'm going to go with Belton for my answer for this one.
I'm going with Belton, too. I think that they have the potential to make the most noise through 5A Division II Region 3. You have to keep in mind their one loss to Brenham is in that region, so that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause there as well. Okay, let's talk about teams that are not these four. Which one is the biggest dark horse to make a run? Chilton does not count as a dark horse. Marlin does not count as a dark horse. Which one's the biggest dark horse? I'll give you guys a second to think about that, and I'm going to give my answer first. And I'm going with the Academy Bumblebees, and here's why. They have a key player injured at the moment who they're expecting to get back if they win a playoff game. We could see, with the effort that Academy is putting up tonight against Franklin, guys, this isn't a fluke. I got to see the first drive in this game for both teams. I didn't get back to the station until 9:35 as a result of it. It's why I'm anchoring in a quarter zip, because normally I am in a suit. But when you look at it, this defense is legit, guys. It was not like big gain for a first down for Franklin. It was dink and dunk down the field before the missed field goal. Matt, who you got? Who's your dark horse outside of these four that you guys are watching tonight?
Can we talk about Kurt?
I didn't know if Nicole was going to go there, so I'll jump in. I feel, first off, Curtis, I believe that Marlon comment was directed at me. I don't appreciate that.
It was.
But you are fair. It is not a dark horse team. I do have to ask you, Curtis, what's going on with Gatesville? Where is Gatesville in this whole picture right now?
I don't know, because a couple of those district losses they had were quite lopsided. That's what gives me pause there. But also, is this the best district in Region 3? I don't know that we'll know about Gatesville until next week.
Yeah, I'll say this. From what I've seen from Gatesville, they struggled against Connolly. The 2 other games I've seen them in, they've absolutely beat up on their opponents. One of those was against Robinson. So it's tough for me to completely draw them out. Their offense is really impressive, and they nearly blanked Robinson on defense. So if there's a dark horse, I do like Gatesville, maybe to get a win in round 1.
Okay. Nicole, your biggest dark horse outside of the 4 teams that you guys are watching in person as we speak?
So I like both of your answers. Also, I just wanted to say, Kurt, Academy, wasn't that your dark horse from the very beginning? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe not.
I had
but
Chilton
I
in the
like
semis.
Gatesville as well. I was going to ask you, Kurt. Okay, Chilton. You had Chilton, right. I like Gatesville as well because they have Lawson Mooney. He was also one of our player of the week. He's a great defensive player. I think they have a lot of potential under Coach Hunter. What's going on with West? That's what I wanted to ask you, Kurt.
That was my next answer. West. How is West not the answer here? Region 2 wide open. They wouldn't see any of District 11 until
the
state championship game,
guys. Not a dark horse.
Not a dark horse, but nobody's talking about the
Not a dark horse. That's why I didn't say it.
West wasn't ranked until this week. West was not ranked in the state with just 1 loss to the reigning state champion Lorena.
Okay, but still not a dark horse.
9-1, unblemished through district. West has a shot.
Still doesn't apply to the question you asked.
Then West.
Not a dark horse.
All right, guys, Matt's got to get on the road early, and we got a hard out at 11 for this show. So, guys, have a great night. We will catch up with you later. And to those of you who stayed up late with us, sorry we don't have any final scores for you, but we did the best we could. For Ethan Clark, Rob Kelso, Michael Graham, Johnny Gonzalez, and all of us working the late shift here at 6 News, I'm Curtis Quillen. We'll see you next week under the playoff lights. They're here, baby. Let's go.